Here's the trivia for the How to Make a Killing Film. I'm also going to add in a new thing where I'm going to watch the trailer again. So, and then I'm going to react to it and see how much, if they spoiled anything. I think that would be kind of an interesting thing to do. Okay, so here's this movie. This is a weird movie. It really is. I'm going to pause it now and then. If I see anything that's a spoiler, I guess.
Why do you have a gun on my head? Since the day I was born, my mother told me we were different. Yes, she had been disowned by her family, but someday I would become the sole heir. The real estate, planes, an island or two.
Beckett, no way. So are you living in the city now?
Yeah, I do. A little outside of it.
Whatever happened to the Redfellow family fortune?
I'll inherit it. Someday.
See, I don't understand that. But why can't they be like... I feel like it should have been something more of that he does something... He's really nice, and he does something, and then the rest of the family secretly plot against him, and they do something that makes him look bad. Like, frame him. And then now he has a reason to go after these people. And you know, I feel like it's just, like, I don't know, not everybody who, like, in the situation is going to resort to murder like that. And this guy just decides to start murdering people. I don't get it. Like, if there was something off, you know, like, yeah, if he felt like that he deserves this money, I don't know. I feel like he has something to make him like more of a reason. Like they frame him. Like he's gonna donate money to a school to build it, right? And then the family frames him and makes it look like he's using drug trafficker money or, you know, criminal money, whatever, to fund it. And then this guy gets in trouble and he's gonna prove his innocence. And then he decides to kill these people, but in a smarter way. Not drowning somebody who is a professional swimmer. It's really strange the choices they made for this.
Well, call me when you've killed them all.
There were 7.
I guess right there he gets the idea. Maybe I should do it. But I don't think a normal person is going to do this. They would go sue him. This guy could have had a better case of like, hey, you know, he could have even done it a different way where he frames them and then they're forced to give him money and then he can undo what he made them look bad with, whatever. That could have worked. See, and then those are all the people and you don't really get much time to hang out with them. The first guy was like a rich kid who's kind of mean. Okay. And then he's passed out on the boat. What if he's tired from working 100 hours a week? You know what I mean? The next guy, I mean, imagine a lot of these people are like that because, you know, ego, whatever, right? They deserve to be that way. They work hard. But we only see this guy saying some things. A lot of people say mean things, right? Then we see him passed out on the boat. And then, okay, he could be tired from working. He's having a party, but he's probably exhausted and he needs some time to rest. Who knows, you know? And everybody else, I don't know. Like he gets next to the cousin, whatever. He gets next to the one guy and says, hey, we might be cousins. The security would be all over this guy. He casually walks into this party. You know, usually it's like a guest only, an invite only. Just random people show up to a party.
7 rich pricks. Between myself and $28 billion.
7 rich pricks. And that's enough to kill these people? Why don't they why didn't this guy do some research and find out they're part of human trafficking or drug trafficking or illegal stuff? And criminal stuff. And then that would be more of a reason like, hey, these guys deserve to die. You know, maybe he's the nicest one. Maybe he gets all the money and donates it to a school, you know, whatever. donates the money. He's really nice. You know, he doesn't want the money. He wants the money to build stuff for other people even. I don't know. It's...
If I were to prune a few branches of the family tree...
See?
Wait.
See, the guy's just sleeping. He didn't even do enough to be like, God, this guy's mean. And then when he dies, they're like, yes. Like, you know, which shouldn't, you know, whatever. But there's not enough reasoning to hate this guy.
I'm back in.
See, they cut the part out. That's stupid. That's the dumb editing. In the movie, he does it by accident, which he should have done it on purpose in the movie. Like, hey, you're out. You know? Except he gets startled when the guy wakes up, drops the anchor, and the guy dies. Like, at the moment, it's accidental because he gets startled. I think he's kind of iffy on doing it, and then he doesn't feel any guilt after, so he continues.
2 calls, 2 emails.
Been occupied.
With what?
Occupations.
Been working your way up the financial ladder. Filthy business, though.
Hope this isn't a bad time.
We had an agreement.
See, it's a filthy business for him. Are all these other people murderers? We don't know. All these other people killed people. Who did they kill? An hour and 45. It should have been 2 hours. And then the 15 extra minutes would have been a little bit of backstory. Everybody gets 3 minutes of backstory. It could have fit. The other quick thing I wanted to point out was that this is a spoiler because this basically is showing that she is gonna, well, she ends up blackmailing him. And after the first murder, the guy in the yacht, she becomes suspicious because he's a professional swimmer. Except, see, that's another thing that I was saying is that she, like, I would explain that, like, him getting the thing tangled, the rope, whatever, and around his foot and being knocked off at the anchor, being pulled under, any professional swimmer wouldn't have been able to swim out of that. You know? Even, like, how strong you are doesn't matter. An anchor is very heavy. You'd have to have so much strength. So, but this is interesting because that is a spoiler, which is kind of funny that they put that in there.
We had an agreement.
See, like that. Or this, I think, is a later scene. So, it's, yeah, that's kind of funny.
You don't get out of here until you come clean.
Have you heard about the Red Fellows?
What about him?
I wonder who's next. If I were you, I might be nervous. Until then, I'm sure you'll make a killing.
I don't know. This is very strange. What a strange film. Strange concept, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's just very weird. Very strange idea. Nobody in the editing said, hey, why are these people dying? Even the test screening, if they did a test screening, like, wait, I don't feel bad for these people who are dying. I should feel more bad. And then when Beckett kills them, I feel better. But nothing. They're just people who seem tired from working all week. And then they're ego-driven because, you know, and that's it. What, you know, I don't know. It's very strange. You gotta, like, just go for, like, you gotta believe that, okay, this Beckett guy understands, like, he knows something we don't. Let's just trust him. But I don't think that's how a film would work. Okay, so here's the trivia for this film. So the first one is the film draws loose inspiration from Kind Hearts and Coronets, 1949. I'm going to watch that one and see if it's better than this one. Directed by Robert Hamer, which was itself adapted from Roy Horniman's 1907 novel Israel Rank, the autobiography of a criminal. The same source material later inspired the Tony Award-winning musical A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder. Interesting. I wonder where that story is. What if they adapted that to the movie? not a remake of Kind Hearts and Coronets, see? Ford's screenplay appeared on the 2014 Blacklist, the annual survey highlighting Hollywood's most admired unproduced scripts. Well, that was a mistake. In the scene in which Ruth is in her classroom talking on the phone with Beckett, a quotation is visible on the blackboard behind her saying, quote, "She is too fond of books and it has turned her brain." It is often mistakenly attributed to Louisa May Alcott's Little Women, but it actually appears in a lesser-known work of Alcott's work, A Story of Experience. Many people also mistakenly say addled instead of turned. That's interesting. The film was registered with the MPAA under the alternate title Huntington. An early 2014 draft of the screenplay carried the working title Rothschild. That's random. Interesting. In the ballroom scene, Jessica Henwick wears a custom golden-handed pleated gown made by Buddhism Couture, a haute couture fashion house based in Cape Town. This is kind of extra trivia. I would like to know more about like the choices, you know? Maybe there was stuff cut out. Maybe they cut the backstory. I don't know why. It seems very important to keep that in. Glenn Powell and Ed Harris both previously appeared in Top Gun Maverick. Margaret Qualley and Bill Camp previously appeared in Drive Away Dolls, and the film's MPAA certificate number is 55777. That's random. Well, these aren't really that fulfilling of trivia, but I'm going to read a couple of these user reviews for this film because I want to see what people are saying about this. Look at the first one, 10 out of 10. Such an underrated film. How? This guy didn't need any backstory. He's just fine with the people dying. It says, I watched this in theaters recently, and wow, I have never witnessed such greatness in a movie theater before. Is that not a bot? How was that real? Who says that? An obviously bad movie gets 10 out of 10. Come on. I would say that How to Make a Killing and Project Hail Mary are the best movies in 2025, even though Project Hail Mary came out now. What? Maybe it was filmed a year ago, but it's technically this year, right? And so if the bot thinks that since this is produced last year, it came out last year, right? A human would know that this just came out, right? Let's see, December 25, and would recommend everyone to see How to Make a Killing. 6.5 is a criminal for the cinema. 6.5 stars is criminal for the cinema. And Crime 101 gets 7, but Crime 101 is incredibly boring and waste of time. Yeah, I mean, that's probably true, but this is also boring and a waste of time. Glenn Powell does such an incredible portrayal in this movie, and I don't want to spoil it. Just watch it. You will thank me later. Nope. They're going to get mad at you. You shouldn't recommend this to people. They're going to get mad. Why did you make me watch that stupid movie? But take Glenn Powell away from it. The guy is a little weird, right? Kind of weird looking, but he's got star power, I guess. We'll see if he ever gets like a big movie or put in Marvel or DC. Maybe his manager's like, hey, don't do superhero stuff. Just, be in these types of films and then you're going to get a hit one day. And, but, and besides that, he's got a really good voice. So perhaps he could go into voice acting if he needed to. I really think he could do a really good portrayal of Bruce Wayne with that voice. I'm sure there's a lot of people with, that he could fit, but he's got a good sounding voice. It's very deep and like kind of big sounding and powerful. So I feel like if somebody got him a good voice role, he could definitely shine in that. How would he have done in place of Nick Offerman in the Pout Pout Fish? Or alongside him, the Pout Pout Fish voiced by Nick Offerman, and then the other character, whatever, voiced by Glenn Powell. maybe it needs some contrast. Maybe their voices are too low and, whatever. Nick Offerman is a very iconic voice. So, but Glenn Powell's voice sounds more like it could be like, I don't know, Bruce Wayne comes to mind. I'm sure there's a lot of other characters, but as a Batman, he could do a great job. This one gave it 8 out of 10. At least this is a little bit more honest, but this tagline isn't honest. A slick, unpredictable black comedy thriller that keeps you hooked. Was it black comedy? Like dark comedy? Maybe? Maybe. And it keeps you hooked, but we know he's gonna kill them. Like, what surprise? The surprise where Margaret Qualley's character turns out that she became suspicious and hired a PI to go after him and has evidence that he killed all these people and begins to blackmail him. Like, that was a big twist, I guess. But what if there was another twist that this guy tricked her, maybe? Or something? Or he investigates her and turns out they could have done that. That she's framing him and making it look like he's doing it. And then he finds out a way to out her. And, that could have maybe worked. I already said a similar idea earlier. To give him a reason, like they're framing him and he goes, oh man, these people, they're not getting away with this. And then maybe he's friends with a psychopath who thinks killing them is a good idea and he does it. Or something. And maybe Beckett is like, no, I didn't mean to kill him. That could have more conflict. I don't know. It was a little bit of conflict, but I think there should have been more. Like, why are you killing these people? Don't kill them. No, don't. It would have been like, more conflict, I guess. It says, How to Make a Killing is a darkly entertaining ride that blends suspense, sharp wit, and a healthy dose of irreverence from start to finish. It's genuinely suspenseful with a plot that twists and turns in ways that make the ending nearly impossible to guess ahead of time. It's very straightforward. Other than the Margaret Qualley twist that she's found this out, how was there... I mean, maybe it turns out like the twist would be like, hey, that guy's actually adopted. He's not part of your family. Hey, this guy's not actually... This guy killed some other guy earlier and took his place. I don't know. They're rich people. They could have like... they could have done a lot of other things. Okay, that's crazy. The pacing is excellent. It's one of those fast watches where you're so caught up in the story that you don't even notice how quickly the time flies by. It's exhilarating in the best way, keeping the energy high without ever feeling rushed or chaotic. The trailer made it feel rushed and chaotic. Like a lot of stuff is going to happen. The music was good, a good choice. The performances, especially Glenn Powell's magnetic lead turn, helped carry the film. Yeah, I guess. While the character development isn't particularly deep or layered, that's the whole point, right? Why should these people die? Oh, they're pricks. Okay, probably half humanity are pricks. How many people are pricks in society? But that's enough to murder them, really? I don't know. It's perfectly acceptable for this kind of genre-bending thriller comedy. How is it perfect? He just kills people for seemingly no reason, really. The supporting cast is solid and adds plenty of flavor to the darkly comic proceedings. How is it... didn't show many people. The first guy falls off the anchor. That was kind of funny. Okay. And then they're going to find out, how did this guy get his foot stuck in an anchor and pulled into the thing? No one does that by accident. He would have had to grab the anchor with the chain, spun around, wraps him up. He doesn't notice for some reason. And then he drops the anchor by accident or on purpose. And then he doesn't know and he gets taken in, right? You think anyone's going to accidentally grab an anchor, okay, which would be only rich people who have a yacht or a boat, right? Grab the anchor, and I don't even think it's his job. It's the pilot, the captain's job, right? And he takes it and wraps himself around and doesn't notice he's wrapped up in the chain. That's probably pretty heavy, I guess. Maybe it's a rope. And then he throws it. I mean, I don't think like it would even make sense in the first place. I don't understand. Yeah. The swimming wouldn't even be a part of it. If you got wrapped up and pulled down, you could be a good swimmer or not. That's not going to help you. You're not going to have enough strength to swim against an anchor. The weight of that. This is weird. Overall, this is a highly enjoyable, cleverly constructed film that knows exactly what it wants to be. Does it? If you're in the mood for something suspension with a wicked sense of humor and zero predictability, How to Make a Killing delivers. Definitely worth checking out. Zero predictability. Did you not get the thought after his first murder that doesn't seem reasonable or believable? That someone's going to get tangled up in an anchor and pulled into the water? And don't you think there's a camera on the yacht? I'm sure there's a security system on the yacht. That's a big plot hole I was saying, is just like, this film wouldn't work nowadays. Kind Hearts and Coronets most likely works because it's back in the day before 9/11, really, before, when you could trust people, when you didn't know you're going to get murdered for no reason. Like this. It's weird. You can't go around a celebrity today without the security getting in the way. The bodyguards come up to you, you know, like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, for the most part. I guess there's a few that go without security, which isn't the best idea. Yeah, definitely worth checking out. I don't recommend this. I would say read the memoirs of a killer, autobiography of a killer, whatever, or Kind Hearts and Coronets. It's probably most likely better than this. So, very weird. 7 out of 10, good movie to watch. Oh, I should read the spoiler now that I've seen the movie. It was an interesting storytelling, but a bit cheesy that he didn't get caught for the couple of murders he did at the beginning. Yeah, they would have timed it up. They would have seen on the camera, you entered here, and then an hour later, this guy dies. They would have it would have been such an easy case. I'm glad that the FBI agents talked to him. That would have happened. It's a good movie to watch and enjoy it. However, I believe more can be added to make it more realistic. Yes. After all, money can buy you happiness, but might let you lose the people you love instead. Yeah. They could have made him, like, he loves kids so much. He wants to build this, so I don't know, help adopted, you know, foster kids or anything. It doesn't matter. You know, human trafficking, protecting seniors from getting scammed. I don't know. If they gave him something that you're rooting for, and then his red fellow family are like, hey, he's not getting out of our money to do that. They care about the money, not about what Beckett is going to do with that money. He wants to build schools. He wants to help the old people. He wants to, I don't know. But they should have done that. And we would have been like, man, this guy really cares. He doesn't even want the money. These mean, evil people have all of this money and ditched him from birth and aren't going to help him, you know? Which I was saying, this guy could have a lawsuit, maybe. If, you know, this guy couldn't have worked to get the money like them. These people probably worked hard. I mean, yes, if you're a descendant of a rich family, you have wealth, generational wealth. Now, here's a more realistic one, 4 out of 10. It's okay, I guess. How to Make a Killing is not good. I agree. Another A24 movie I did not enjoy, and that goes to All of Them. So he finally got the inheritance at the end, and it didn't last long because he got arrested for murder he did not commit. seriously? Yeah, this is kind of a spoiler, and they should have put the spoiler word because you already know what's kind of going to happen. And by the way, he doesn't even get the money. He gives the 30 million or whatever, 30 billion, whatever, to the Margaret Qualley's character. But FBI are useless in this movie, and yet he been narrating this to a passenger. My God, how disappointing! I know, I didn't like that. No. You know what? That was the twist, I guess. They make you think that he's going to get caught for everything, which in a way he does, but her character presents the note that exonerates him. And then he's still, when the gates close at the end, it goes brrr, ching, and then the gates close, whatever, and then he's still in jail, money jail, inheritance jail, I don't know, generational wealth jail. 4 to 10, it shouldn't have even been made. I know. I think I agree with this. I gotta watch the Kind Hearts and Coronets one because I bet you that's probably the best version of this story. Okay, so yeah, that was my trailer rewatch reaction. And those are all the trivia and some reviews for this. If you want to check out my full review of How to Make a Killing, that is on my other channel, Good or Good Enough. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.